Hey everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. Here's the fun scrap lift we're doing, and it is from a fellow Secret Not Secret Kit Club member, and her name is Kathy. She has beautiful layouts. I love them. Her style is so neat, and I found this one. I'm pretty sure she did it during a scrap party weekend, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to scrap lift this right away. But Rachel and I kind of plan ahead. So I sent it to her and I'm like, I found our January scrap lift. So yeah, I think I've been waiting to scrap this since November. So here you go. I am going to try to follow it as closely as possible. Especially, I love the variants of the blues. And so I just took my shimmers products and I picked the three that I actually had that were of true blue tones versus of like any teal. And so the one you're seeing me use now is called Deep Blue Sea, and I struggle immensely with this color. I still basically have a full bottle of it because it's too dark for me. I really struggle with it, but it definitely worked on here, especially being my middle layer. And then the next one I use is Heidi Ho Blue. I like this color. It's a nice bright blue. It reminds me of water, and I do use that. This one is definitely more than half of the way used through. And then you're going to watch me use this one, and this is Frostbite, and it's a Vibes, and this is my favorite blue. And you see how much I spilled? I was freaking out. I was so mad at myself. Thankfully, this is still kind of a newer color to me, so I have a decent amount of it still left. But oh my gosh, I spilled so much of it. But I wanted to get the patterns of it. I go ahead and I heat dry everything. I didn't prep this paper or anything like that. It is kind of meant to be a mixed media paper to begin with, but it did warp because I didn't do any prepping and I used my heat tool. If I hadn't used my heat tool, if I placed some stuff on top of it, it probably would have been flat and there wouldn't have been any issues, but I was being impatient. And then I'm going to come back and I found a Dazzlers of mine that hasn't dried out yet. Most of them have because they're older and I'm not very good at using them. But this one I think is called Berry Blue, and it's really pretty and gave me the look I wanted. I didn't know where my white acrylic paint was, and that's normally what I would have used to get that effect. And so I just went ahead and used that color instead. And I'm going to take this layout, which is winter inspired, and turn it into a zoo layout. I have lots of really fun photos of the zoo, and you are going to see me struggle immensely with this layout, which is partly why it is such a long video. Now, I do try to keep my videos under 10 minutes for the most part, but this one it was a bit of an adventure. I've got this sped up as much as I felt like I could do it without being too crazy. And so my first idea here is that's fine. I'll just use these 3 photos and I'll save the other 2. I kind of want to do separate layouts, one for Nora and one for Jackson, because this was Nora's first trip to the zoo and Jackson had some pretty cool experiences this round when we went to the zoo. So they were last spring. So they're, about a year old, and I've kind of been waiting to document them and haven't gotten there yet. And so I want to take these ones where you can see me kind of looking at them. They're going to get put aside because I'm not going to end up using them. But I did plan on using 3 photos. Like the original layout that Kathy had a huge, beautiful like Instagram square photo. And so my plan was to use a big photo, maybe a journaling card, something like that. And then this zebra, because I had it, I knew it in the back of my head. I had it on a piece of my chipboard sticker sheets, and then I went searching through my little collection of animal/floral bin that I had, and I had another one. How do I have 2 zebras? And they're both chipboard, so I don't know. But thankfully I have another zoo photo or 2 to do. And I wanted to use more animals, but I'll be honest with you, the only thing that makes it on this layout is a zebra, and you'll see why in a minute. So here I go. I'm still trying to figure this out. I was like, well, let's just shift everything down and then I can work on the strips because I like the idea of the layers underneath the photo. Yep. this isn't going to work. The strips I can't make work. The color tones I can't make work. I spent like an hour trying to figure out how to do this, if I was going to do it all in blue or if I needed to add in pink because my daughter is wearing a pink hat and her pink shoes, and it was just so frustrating. I was getting so annoyed. I loved the background, and I know I could make this layout really work. It wasn't. So I finally ended up taking this all away, and I happened to have a cut file just hanging out on my desk, which is sometimes helpful for not being the tidiest scrapbooker on the planet. Is I do keep things on my desk that I see, and then they just work in the next layout I'm working on. So there's a little something to be said for not being the tidiest of scrapbookers. But yeah, this isn't working. So finally I'm like, well, what if I just work on my title? And I know I want it to be something about, because this is a fun family event. And so I decided family fun was going to work. It's kind of the two words I had pre-made words that were together. I am trying to use up my pre-made words from these sticker sheets because I actually struggle to use them. And I like them though, and I want to buy more eventually when I can. But in order to do that, I have to, use the ones I have. And so I like this family fun. I like the variance of the tones of the gold and all of that. But it's still, the design isn't working. So I finally am like, okay, here's this cut file that I'm talking about. I'm going to move the fun back up there. I lay it down and I'm like, okay, this I think I could do. I see where this photo is going to be placed, because this photo of the four of us has to get on this layout because it's the one that I like so much. And then I try to figure out how to get the other two photos on. Am I going to cut them? What am I going to do with them? And I just decide that, you know what, I'm not going to use them. This is going to be a one photo layout, and I'm just going to go with it. It's okay. These other two photos are adorable, but I can use them in their separate layouts. The bonus of doing a multiple layouts about one event, which is not something I do a lot either, but in certain circumstances that happens. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. I want to back the florals. I'm not going to do the leaves or anything, just the florals. And I want to have a black stitch around the circle so that it really stands out and pops out. And the zebra's not going to look so funny being the only black and white element on the page. So I do go ahead off camera and do that. I back the florals and I do my stitching and all of that. And then I realized that I wanted to add this blue banner to have something, and I had to undo the bottom stitch so I could put that underneath and then re-stitch it, and that just ends up working perfectly. I did back the whole layout with this really pretty pink from Maggie Holmes, just because, again, my daughter's pink hat, I needed a pop of pink somewhere on the layout, and then I backed a couple of the florals with the pink as well too. And then it all just kind of flew together. And then finally, I just ended up deciding to add the zebra, do a little cluster there, like you can see, with a couple hearts. And I'm going to add in one more little element of gold because it needs something, plus one of the leaves from that thicker sheet. And it just becomes this very simple, basic layout. And I haven't added journaling. I'm going to probably put it on a Project Life card and tuck it next to the photo, I think is what's going to happen. That kind of looks like a good spot for journaling. But I haven't done it yet because once I figured out like it was good enough for me, I'm like, okay, this is done. I need to take this photo and just move on from this layout. So I will probably work on it tomorrow when I'm not so frustrated with it. But it was a journey and I had fun with it anyways. I really do like the way that it looks now and the outcome of it. I like it more and more every time I look at it. So it was worth the hard journey that it went through to get to where it's at. But this is gonna be my layout. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please go check out Rachel's take on this layout. I do believe she posted it a couple days early because I posted my one from December and I think I threw her off. So I think it's already posted, but I'll leave a link for you to go ahead and check out her take on this. And thanks Kathy for the inspiration. I really loved this layout. We will be back in February for the sketch part of Lift and Sketch because we are only doing one layout this month and next month, and then we'll be back to normal in March. And that's, I think about it. So you're going to see me play around. I did try to add in this other prawn leaf or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't make it work. It's too much. Why force things? Sometimes you need to just let it be more simplistic. I have to learn that about myself. All right, guys, here is a look at my final layout, and I will see everybody soon with another layout. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.